Hi everyone, and welcome once again to Ruby's Classic Cooking. And today I'm making a chicken and rice casserole. So to start this off, either you can make a cream sauce, which I'm going to do here, or you can just open a can of soup. Right now I don't have a can of cream of mushroom soup or cream of chicken soup, but if you have that, you can add that in with your chicken and rice. Anyway, let's dive right in. I'm going to show you how to make a cream sauce. It's really very simple and easy to do. I couldn't believe how easy it was the first time I made one. I was like, wow, I always thought this was really complicated, but it's not. So, this one's going to be a cheese sauce. So, but it's basic cream sauce. You just add some cheese at the end. I'm going to start out with 2 tablespoons of butter to melt. So I'm going to melt this butter and I'll be back. Today, and the complicated things I'm using today to make this are this is a wooden spoon, but it's squared off at the top. It's a different name than wooden spoon, but can't remember what it's called right now. And a spatula. That's all the tools I need to prepare this. And I'm using this because I'm working on a pan and it's just easier because it gives me more surface area to stir than a wooden spoon. Although I'll tell you, for years I used a wooden spoon, so this is just a little easier. Okay, I have my 2 tablespoons of melted butter in my pan now. Oops, I don't know if you can even see that. You know what 2 tablespoons of melted butter looks like, right? Now I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and a little bit of pepper. It also says to add a teaspoon of salt, but I found last time I made this, it tasted kind of salty after I added the cheese to it, so I'm not going to put any salt in it today. This is a point at which, if you want to add something else, if you want to spice this up a bit more, make it a little hotter. I like bland food, but not everybody does. So I'm just going to dump this in here and stir it in. I want to mix this around so there's no lumps in here, and I'm going to take it back to the heat and I'm going to cook this. And after I've cooked it down for a bit, I'm going to be adding a cup of milk, a little bit at a time. You add maybe not even a quarter of a cup at a time, and that's 50 milliliters at a time, and you just kind of keep stirring in between each addition to smooth it out. You can see this is smoothed out here. Yeah, that's smoothed out. Now I've got to cook this because otherwise they'll have a raw taste to it, raw flour taste to it, which is very unpleasant. So I'm going to give this a few minutes to cook and sort of bubble a little bit. Not very much, but just start to bubble a bit. And then I'll start adding my milk. So I'll be back to show you what that looks like as I go along. Yeah, I'm just stirring my milk in here, so I'll just kind of show you this as I'm stirring my milk into it. Tilt this up to the camera so you can see what I'm doing here. It's starting to thicken up, but I'm still going to keep adding my milk to it and stirring on medium heat on your burner. Now you want to let this heat up before you add more milk. So see, it's starting to look, there you go. Can you see? Just thin. Make sure you stir it till the lumps are out, and you're on a direct heat, so keep stirring it or it'll burn on you. I'm going back here to add some more milk. Okay, now here's my white sauce, getting nicely thickened up, and the black specks in there are the pepper. So see how that's getting nice and thick like that? And you can tell if it's the right thickness. They tell me, and this works because you're going to be cooling it off. So this isn't how thick it'll be when it cools off. You just take your finger and you swipe it quickly through there, and if it makes a line like that and it doesn't, the line doesn't fill in, you know you've got your proper thickness. And now I'm going to blend in 3/4 of a cup of shredded cheddar cheese and 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. There goes my cheese in. I'm going to just stir my cheese into here. I'm going to melt your cheese nicely into your sauce. And you can use other kinds besides cheddar. If you want to use something like a Gruyere or something that's nice and melty though. Give you a nice flavor. Maybe a nice Swiss cheese perhaps. There it is. nicely orange here. There we go. And now for a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And that goes in. And then my cheese sauce is complete. Now I'm just going to put this to one side to cool off, and then I'll carry on with my casserole. Here's my finished cheese sauce. There we go. See my nice finished cheese sauce. Alright everyone, I'm back now to finish off this casserole. Here's my cheese sauce. It's cooled off some, and if it had a little scum on top, I just stirred it down. So, first of all, I'm going to add my about 2 3/4 cups of cooked chopped up turkey to my cheese sauce and stir that in. You can use chicken or turkey. Either one is good. Last time I made this casserole, I had some leftover cooked chicken, so I used chicken. So I'm just going to stir this into my cheese sauce. Over here in this casserole, I have 2/3 of a cup of cooked rice. It's just regular white rice, long grain rice, and I just cooked it in the microwave. You know, 2/3 of a cup of rice, and then 1 part rice, 2 parts water. Then I just put it in my microwave and set it on the rice button. So I didn't make you watch that. So you just have this is 2/3 of a cup and it's cooked up. So that's just what the volume is of this. I'm going to fluff that up with my fork just like that. And I'm going to stir in my cheese sauce and turkey mixture here. I'm just going to stir that in here to my hot rice. I'm going to try to mix this into my rice without, kind of pulverizing my rice too much. Just kind of fold it over here. Try not to leave any streaks of plain rice without meat in it, or poultry. I guess it's poultry, not meat, right? I chose to make my white sauce today because unless you have soup on hand, and a can of soup is now going for $2.77 a can in my neighborhood, whereas when it's on special you can get a can for 77 cents. And that long ago you could get them for 50 cents a can on special, and it was under $1 for a can of soup. Now $2.77. It's pretty expensive for a can of soup. So that's why I decided to make the sauce, because I didn't have any soup on hand. But it would be a whole lot simpler with a can of soup. Your traditional 60s, 70s way of making a casserole. Pour in a can of soup. And like I said, if you want to add more pepper, or you want to add some heat to this, some chili flakes, some hot sauce, whatever you want to add to it. You're eating it, your family's eating it, so you can spice it up or whatever. Add some extra other herbs to it, your favorite herbs to it. That's the freedom of making your own food at home, is what you like, you can add. And if you want to experiment, you can experiment. And then if you decide, ugh, that rosemary didn't really go that well in that casserole, well, you know what, put a lime through that and don't ever do it again. This casserole will feed 4 adults, and for my husband and I, we'll have 2 servings tonight, and then we'll have supper again tomorrow off of this one. So I'm going to top this casserole off with some grated mozzarella cheese. So I'm just going to throw that on the top here and make a nice little layer here on top. This is about 1/2 cup of grated cheese. I didn't measure it, I just kind of grated it until I thought that looks like enough to top my casserole. So I'd say probably 1/2 cup. And now I'm going to put this casserole in my preheated 325-degree oven for a half an hour, and I'll be back to show you what that looks like fresh and hot from the oven. And don't worry, metric people, because all the equivalents for metric measurements will be in my description box below, along with the recipe. And here I am with my casserole hot and fresh out of the oven, which I will now serve up half of this to my husband and myself, and we're going to have a lovely casserole for supper. I hope you enjoyed my video today, and I hope you will like, subscribe, drop a comment below, and maybe give this recipe a try. Let me know how it turns out for you, and hey, come on back and watch what I'm doing next time on Ruby's Classic Cooking. Bye for now.